All right, we are live and we are talking client appreciation events. So, welcome to Overtime. My name is Brendan Bartic. I'm joined by my friend and business partner Anna McKeel, and we are excited today to jump right into this. So we in our Pulse coaching program, we're talking in deep detail about client appreciation events. And I want to start by theming this of just going, regardless if it's a client appreciation event or just any event where you're trying to get in front of clients or people that might want to be a purchaser of your product. We have people that listen to this in the real estate industry, outside the real estate industry. We've learned a lot of lessons from the top agents that do this across the country, and it's not as easy as you might think, right? So we're going to kind of work through some of the most challenging pieces of putting on a fantastic client appreciation event, and hopefully it'll provide some insight to anyone that's had any issues doing this or moving forward. So in our first session, Anna, we talked a lot about creating, first of all, picking the right event for you, right, for us, and what that means. And so in our world, in our real estate world, we try to do two client appreciation events a year, a summer and a winter. Some do more than that. Some do once a quarter, some do once a month. For our size organization, a summer and a winter was the best that we could do with not the best we could do. It worked best with us because every spring and fall we do seminars. We do investor seminars, buyer seminars. So we're really trying to set a target to have one event a quarter. And I don't care if you are whatever business you're in, car sales, you're an accountant, a client. Where people mess this up is they think client appreciation means they had to have done business with me at my event, right? So, Anna, what was one of the questions we got about that?
Yeah. So one of the questions was you guys talk about client appreciation events. So am I only pooling from people who I've done business with? I've only been in the industry a couple of months, a couple of years. I don't really have a lot of people that have done business or transacted with me. So why host a client appreciation event for only 3 or 4 people?
Yeah. So the answer is a couple of things. Number one, when we're holding a client appreciation event, it doesn't have to be for mass amount of people. It only has to be for the objective that you're trying to obtain. So if you are trying to just really impress a few of your super ambassadors, right? These people that you know work at the HR department of a major company and you want them to tell everyone about how great of a realtor you are. Well, your event, and that word just sounds so scary, your
Yeah.
evening or daytime date that you're going to have is going to look a lot different than it would if you're trying to have movie theater night or night at the Rockies or ice skating in the winter or whatever it is. You've got to decide what you're trying to accomplish from this event. So you also have to think about, is this an event that's going to be for all guest lists? We were just talking about Easter, right, Anna? We were talking
Yeah.
about a lot of real estate agents will host a Easter egg hunt. They will have the Easter bunny dress up and come. And then easy event, right? Invite everybody to the park that has kids, right? So you're not going to maybe get grown adults. I don't know. I guess they could show up and get weird, but you're probably not going to, so you're going to get a very specific type of client, right? I'm not going to come to your Easter egg hunt event, right? If I don't, have kids of that age or what have you. So you got to think about what is the objective, right? Maybe this is vendors that you want to have an event for that business to business give you a lot of business, right? So you got to start with just figuring out what you want to accomplish. So I always think about breaking that down into more simple categories of going, okay, the first thing I have to decide is my objective. So maybe my objective is I want to invite 100 people out of my 500 person database that I know own a home, right? So I know they're going to be potential sellers, right, in my database, and that live in a particular area. Because also, if you start buckshotting off invites to people all over the Front Range, right, you're going to make somebody drive from way up north to come to an event way, way, way down south, if that's where your area are. So I'm going to look at location, and I'm going to try to use my budget and be as intelligent as possible in this. So now I'm going to go, I've got 100 people that own a home that live in a 20-minute drive to the destination that I'm thinking about doing. Do I, first of all, have enough people to make this work? Right? So
Yeah.
great. Okay, cool. I do. Then the next piece that I'm looking at is I'm going, okay, like we heard about with the Easter egg hunt, what would be an event that everybody could come to that is kind of universal, neutral, right? And that's why we have our, our baseball game night, right? It's like anyone can come to baseball. I'm not a big fan of baseball. It's not my jam. I couldn't tell you a single thing about the sport. I do like sitting outside, having a beverage and talking with people about life, right? That's what baseball, having a hot dog or whatever it is. So you got to think about, is it universal enough for the masses to come to, or are you trying to get something very specific, right? If you know that you're doing ladies' night because five of your people that are in your network are, go getter, killers, and you want to do happy hour at some, tequila bar, whatever it might be, then that's a whole different outcome. You're going, ladies, well, I want to treat you guys to a night on the town. I think you guys are awesome. I've got it sponsored by my lender. She's also phenomenal. We're going to have a lot of fun. I just told her you're five of the coolest ladies I've ever known. I mean, that's really lame, but you wouldn't say it that way. So my point being in this is just trying to decide what the objective still is, right? Then creating a broken down strategy to make sure that we can accomplish getting as many people to the event that is going to pay off for us for what we want. Do I want listing appointments? Do I want buyer appointments? Do I just want people that own a business to know me a little bit better because they know more people? So I know there was a lot there, but that's what you're trying to think through in doing this, is just best bang for your buck, and then be smart about the structure. So I hope that answered the question. I know that was a long one, Anna.
Yeah, and I think just to kind of put a bow on that, yes, you can make it about past clients. Oftentimes, we see agents doing it at the highest level of also attracting people to their brand who haven't really had an opportunity to transact with you yet. So that can look like what we talk about, Brendan, is future ambassadors. People that you've met, whether it's at the barbecue, maybe it's your dry cleaner, maybe it's your florist, you can invite them in. They get to sort of test drive your brand at the event and go, I actually really like Brendan. You know what? Next time I do have a question about real estate, I'm going to text or call him and get his advice. That's probably the most powerful way we're seeing it leveraged when we look at top agents and top teams across the country.
I love it. Yeah. Go ahead. What's the next
So,
question we got
yeah,
on
so
client appreciation events?
the other question we have is why? It's a lot of work. Why would I even, especially if I'm maybe on the shyer side, maybe being social and flitting around a party, chatting with people is my worst nightmare. Why would I do a client appreciation? What's the real goal of hosting an event? And what can I do if I'm not identifying myself as a dolphin who just loves social interaction?
Absolutely. Yeah. And big shout out. We've got Shannon and Jen Thompson on the live stream with us. So hello to both of you. If you have any questions, feel free to post them. We'll answer the best we can. But welcome both of them as we're coming into this. So a couple of things. You have to be around people to build relationships. That's just the nature of sales, and that's the nature of business in general. And I know we have people that are interior designers, and we have people that are in the accounting field that listen to this program or watch it on YouTube, and they get caught up and they still forget that they're 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 not in sales. We're all in sales. If you own a small business or you provide a product to someone, you're in the sales business. So we have to put ourselves in an environment where we can be around humans to build a relationship with them, to earn trust so that we can have them utilize our product or refer our product to friends and family, right? The age old statement still is it's not what you know, it's who you know. That'll never ever change. I mean, I've seen so many people that work less than me that are, in my opinion, less talented me, that make more money than me because they are, or maybe not even make more money, have more success, if that isn't the right word, because they're better at building relationships than I am. Right? They have studied the art. Right? We just got, we listen to every single year, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Right?
Yeah.
Uh, Earl Nightingale, right? Earl Nightingale, is that right? Nightingale? That sounds weird.
Now Carnegie.
I'm thinking about.
Carnegie.
There we go. Dale
Yeah.
Carnegie, Earl Nightingale. Close. Dale Carnegie, right? So that book is a master class from, over 100 years ago on just how to earn business by making people feel special. And I don't think we talk about that enough. But if you never took your significant other to dinner, you never took your significant other to the amusement park, you never took your significant other to play golf, or whatever you're into, it's probably going to be hard to stay in a relationship with them. If your relationship is just emails and a phone call every 90 days, I don't know how you're going to do that, right? I don't know how you're going to do that. So your second part of that question is what if you're like me and you're an introvert and it's very challenging for you to be around people in a public setting, right? Everyone sees me, teaching and being on stage and doing podcasts and videos. I'm safe here. This is my safe area. I know my subject. I've lived it. I've done it. I could breathe it. You want to make me come to my knees and cripple me? Talk to me about small talk and talk to me about what do I think about the weather. It'll break me in half. And so when I'm in these events and it's small talk, central, I have to constantly remind myself of the Ford acronym, right? Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. And it doesn't mean that I don't care about the person I'm talking to. I just wasn't built that way. So I would just remember if I don't know what to say, I'm like, ask them something about their family. If I get super nervous, okay, let's talk occupation. What do you do for work again? Oh, so how's it? Oh, school teacher, blah, blah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And actually sincerely care about that. And then what do you do for fun? Recreations. We go through that whole thing, right? So what do you do for fun? Well, oh, you ride motorcycles. That's cool. Oh, that's interesting. And just shut up and talk 10% about me, 99% about them. I know that math doesn't add up. 1% about me, 99% about them. And just continue to ask questions because if I want to build those relationships, they want to know that I care about them. They don't care very much about me. They might be very inquisitive and but that's great. And we'll go back and forth. But so that's how I power through these scenarios. And then, as I said before, I surround myself with people that are really bubbly, good people that love doing this. Right? We call them dolphins in our world. Right? You got the tigers, dolphins, and the turtles. Right? The tigers and the turtles don't really like going to these events necessarily. The turtles are more concerned about, catching COVID at the event. The tigers are worried about how much the event's costing. The dolphins are having the best time on earth at the event, and the turtles and the tigers are just going, why do we have to be here, and how long are we going to have to be here all the time? Right? But that's what makes the world go round. Without those three, everything would. The dolphins wouldn't be able to. We wouldn't have guardrails on the pool. We wouldn't be able to pay for the event. We wouldn't have tickets. The Dolphins would just be like, just show up when you get there. We're going to be drinking. It'll be a blast. Right? There wouldn't be an Eventbrite, a map, anything like that. So all of us have challenges of how we're doing all of these things. But I do sincerely think it's just Ford and bring dolphins with you.
Yeah, I'm going to add one thing to it. Ray doubled down on your comment. Most people want to talk about themselves. So if you're not a person that loves the chit chat, the small talk, make it about them and you don't have to talk that much. The other piece of advice or a pro tip on this is have a wow factor or have an activity that people can participate in. It takes a lot of pressure off the small talk. So if you're going to host an event at the park, the Easter egg hunt is the activity. It keeps people busy. It takes a lot of pressure off you, the host, to have to go around and talk to everyone. While you should definitely do it, at least people aren't standing around wondering what they should be doing. So find that wow factor, find that activity, give people things to do. It also helps alleviate some of that small talk as well. And really, Brendan, and this kind of transitions us to our last question, is when we're talking about the event, a lot of people get hung up on building the event. But what we have to remember is that the event is simply a vehicle to get into more conversations with our database. It's not really about the night at the Rockies or the Easter egg hunt. It's about all of the client touch pieces that we've put into place, inviting them, reminding them, building the excitement, having a reason to call. And I would say most people don't focus on that enough because they're so worried about what the event is going to look like. If you don't have the communication plan in place, that's a lot of work to not actually communicate with your database. Any kind of thoughts or pro tips on that?
Yeah. So again, it's a touch program vehicle. So remember, we're all just trying to have a reason to talk to people in a non-threatening way that doesn't involve sales. And that's what the best salespeople have mastered is they do so much business with people because they have book club. They're on the HOA at their local board or at their house, the condo or wherever they live. They have multiple. They're in an art group, and people go to theater, the theater group, and mountain bike group, and all of these things where it's just if you're naturally around people and not a jerk, you're probably going to push some product, right?
Yeah.
You're just going to do that. And then you have all of the opportunity to check your database checkoffs, right? We know that we have to talk to everyone minimum once per every 90 days in our database. If we're not doing that, then we're not getting those referrals, we're not building those relationships. But you got to have something to talk to them about, which is big. And then I know you had asked me about a lead question earlier. So what was the lead question, Anna? Because I thought it was fascinating.
Yeah, so a lot of so let's just kind of create some context. So oftentimes when we do client appreciation events, we send out a save the date postcard, right? To kind of get the energy, the excitement. We know that direct mail works. It sits on their counter or in their coffee table for 17 days before they throw it away. So it's a really great place to keep your face, your contact information, and your brand in front of people. One of the questions is as I start sending this direct mail, let's say it's a save the date for the client appreciation event, the question came out about using QR codes. Do we use them? Why we use them? Do we have to have a QR code for every single person, or does it point to a particular place? And this really comes down to our sales funnel. So let's kind of dive into leads or clients who are raising their hand, either, hey, I'm ready to transact, or hey, I'm ready for this client appreciation event. Walk us through the sales funnel mindset piece.
I love this. Well, let's do one thing real quick and demystify the QR code. So
Mm.
Anna, you utilize them all the time, and I
I
think they're
do.
great. So how do you create just 2 seconds? How fast can I create a QR code? Because for some people, it sounds like it's like I am not techie. How do I create a QR code?
Yeah,
You
great
just have to tell me
question.
in 2 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, so great question. All you have to do is pull a link into a free platform like Canva or Bitly, or you can Google search free QR code builder. You take the link, you put it into the platform, and the platform creates the QR code. Then you can put that QR code on literally anything, a sticker, a t shirt, or a postcard.
So Canva will make you a free QR code.
Yep, absolutely.
And the point of the QR code is just so everyone knows. And again, I'm not trying to, for those that are brilliant, right, and not being brilliant, but that like study this stuff, I didn't know. It's just taking a link like to a website and just making it obviously with a bunch of scribbly lines so you can take a picture of it. I know for a lot of you know that, but again, sometimes a lot of people don't, and there's a quick barrier there when you're like, do I have to buy a
Right.
QR company membership? Do I have to do this? Canva, even in the free version, will do this QR code for you for free,
Yeah.
right? It
Yeah.
converts, no problem. Okay, so I just want to make sure we got that clear. Then the second part of that question is the reason the QR code works is because obviously we live in a mobile world, and most people, let's say that you want to invite everyone to your winter night at the ice skating rink event, right? Or remember, go back to our 100 people, right? We want to invite 100 homeowners to our night at the ice skating rink event. So I can now send out a postcard to that 100 people with the QR code, or or it doesn't have to be a postcard. It could be an actual invitation, hand
Absolutely.
stamped and very nicely written, and saying, I think you're wonderful, and then I'm having this wonderful event. Remember, they don't have to be because you're a great client. Don't freak them out of being like, I'm having a client appreciation party. Again, note this: do not call it a client appreciation party. Just say that you're having an event at the skating or the ski ice skating rink, and you would love for them to attend, and it's completely free, right? And bring the kiddos or not or whatever, and whatever your message is, but don't call it a client appreciation event, especially if you haven't done business with. Now, if you're sending to everyone that's done business with you, different conversation. Okay. So now they can scan that QR code. The third part about that question is, where does that QR code take them? Generally, that QR code is going to take them to an Eventbrite type of platform, a place where it goes, you're going to attend, I need you to register. And because once now you've registered, now I know, you're one of 100 people that are going to be coming to my ice skating gala, right? So now we have that one use for it, right? The end all destination, 99% of the time, is going to be to the Eventbrite. The only exception I'll say to that is if you are utilizing a website and you are, techie and you have your own website, you can send them right to the event page on your website so that they get to see your homepage, and then they're going to click on one more link that's going to take them to the Eventbrite. Because you might want to get double the bang for your buck out of this, of going, scan the QR code, come to my website, maybe look at a couple of houses, maybe get a home valuation for your house while you're there. And then, there's one more button here to register for this. Now, on your website, you could also have your seminars that are upcoming, right? So they go, oh, wow, they're having ice skating night, and there's a buyer seminar coming up in February. There's a seller seminar. There's a VA seminar. Oh, man, I have VA benefits. I've never thought about utilizing them for blah, 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 right? Whatever it might be. So looking at that, that's kind of the idea, is making it as easy as possible. Now, I think Ray has a question here. I have a concern that older people might not be able to use the QR code. I was going to include a phone number. Yeah, absolutely, right, Ray? Like, I think in doing that, that's a great part. And he said, with the number, should I use that number with a voicemail message? Yeah. So I love this, right? Remember we were saying earlier, frictionless. Like, how can we take the pain out of someone doing this? So if people aren't QR code ninjas, you either give instructions of going, all you have to do is take a picture with this phone or put your phone into camera mode. That's one way of doing it. Second is just call me and I'll register you. Third, you can email me at info@rayrealestate.com, and I'll make sure that you get registered. Or my favorite, right? Just text me, right? Send a text to my phone number saying
Yes.
attending,
Yeah.
right?
It can be
Yes. Sorry.
super
Yes.
simple. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a great question, right? Yeah. Because again, Anna knows this. I'm not a big fan of QR codes. She puts them on everything.
I do.
I get it. I use it. Maybe it's because of COVID. I was just so freaking irritated that I couldn't get a hard copy menu, and nothing made me more angry in my entire life than stupid QR code menus. But that's just me, right? We all have our issues with things. But I like things to be easy and just click a link, send a text, tell me yes, let's go. But the end all is what we call a landing page. You have to make sure that the destination is built correctly for where you want them to go and what that final experience is. Now, the cool thing with QR codes is you can also, if maybe you don't have the Eventbrite ready, you can create a QR code that just goes to what we call a jot form. Jot forms we utilize to capture data for all kind of things. reviews, testimonials, all kind of different things to give out toolkits. Some of you are here because you completed a jot form on one of our email drips, wanting to get our toolkit. Which, if you're listening to this or watching this, you can do in the drop down below and click the link or hit the QR code, and you'll be able to do the same thing, right? But the end all, what Anna said that I think is more important than anything else is the funnel, right? What is your funnel? So I always tell people, draw an upside down triangle, and on the top of that upside down triangle, draw 3 circles. And it's going to look like a kind of like an ice cream cone, right, Anna? Like an upside
Yeah.
down ice cream cone. So a upside down triangle with 3 scoops. And what we're trying to do, the 3 scoops on top, is the way that you're trying to get people into your world. So one of those scoops could be client appreciation event. One of those scoops could be seminar. One of those scoops could be golden letters. One of those scoops could be, and I know I'm only saying 3, but you pick the different, you can only put 3, try and focus. Social media, YouTube channel, podcast, newsletter, right? Maybe you send out a banger newsletter, and that's your jam for your neighborhood. But those are your ice cream scoops that get people, it sounds weird, licking, right? Gets people into you that are trying to get into your world and they're interested. Then the next layer that you have to do is you have to draw one line on that upside down triangle. And now we have to go into the nurture phase. Everyone that comes in from your ice cream scoops maybe aren't going to be quite ready to go into level 2, which is, or level 3, which is going to be converting. They need to be nurtured, AKA 12 touch, 36 touch, 46 touch. What happens after they get into your world? QR code scanned. Where are they going to go? Then the next layer, you draw one more line of that upside down triangle, and then you're going to have conversion. So now you met people, you've nurtured them. Can you close on the appointment for, in our world, buyer side sales, list side sales? And then the very bottom of this, you get paid. And then at the very bottom, you put a smiley face and say, restart, and go recycle them back through the top. Now they come back in, they enjoy your ice creams cones, they continue to be nurtured until the next sale or referral is happening.
I love that. And we've got a few more minutes, and I've got a really great question. This came in from our Pulse coaching session. I love the idea of hosting a client appreciation event, but it seems like it's going to cost me a lot of money and I don't have a lot right now. What is your recommendation for hosting client events on a low budget?
Yeah, so 2 things on this. Number 1 is sponsors, sponsor, sponsor, right? Once we establish how much the event is going to require us, whether it's a 3-person, 5-person, 100-person, 10,000-person event, we've got to decide, okay, if I'm going to do this, I need to go get the sponsorship money before I start inviting people to it. So the best thing to do is reach out to the lender, the stager, the inspection company that you
Mm.
utilize. And it doesn't even have to be people that you're already doing business. Maybe you're brand new, and you're going to go to a lender and go, look, I've got this idea. I think if we can get 15 people to this wine tasting, and I know these people all have money, they all need to buy a house, or they all are, blah 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 blah. If you cover the cost, I'll get them there. I'll do all the legwork. I'll do the invites. I'll do everything. It's going to cost you about $600 to do this wine tasting. I don't know, whatever the number is. I'll put your name and face right next to mine on everything. I'll take care of all of that, and then I'll tell them you're the greatest lender that I've ever used in my entire life. Right? That's what we're talking about in pitching it. But you can't be like, hey, look, I'm doing a night at the zoo, and yeah, I'm not sold a lot of houses. I need about 2 G's to get some people to look at giraffes, and what do you think about being a sponsor? So your energy and your attitude and your presentation for them is going to be a big part of this, of this pitch, right? But as I said, the goal is for you not to pay for a single dollar of this event. In fact, you should be stacking some money away from doing this event, because the people that you have invited to are in your world. And this could be contractors, this could be, you name it. Financial advisors are always great sponsors. Tax accountants always need more business. They need more people to do taxes for, or accounting for. So don't get limited to just people I give business to, who else would benefit from this group of people that you're doing this event for? And that really makes a big difference, right? We got Brandon Beston here. Welcome, Brandon. Always a pleasure. So I know he came on at the last minute, but Brandon, just saying hi. So Anna, we are out of time. Did I nail everything?
Nope,
All right.
that was perfect.
All right. So thanks for joining us. Remember, we're here every week, 11:30 to 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. Right. So that's 10:30 Pacific, that's 12:30 Central, that's 1:30 Eastern. So every week we're taking a deep dive into a specific section of how to grow your real estate business, answering your questions live, also having questions that we know we get all the time about this subject. So tune in next week. You can also find this recording on our YouTube channel and also on our podcast, Real Talk with Brendan Bartic. The YouTube channel is Brendan Bartic Real Estate Coaching. But again, if there's anything we can ever do to help you in your world, leave a comment, leave a note. We're always happy to assist. And we will see you next week. Have a good day.
See ya.